Hey everybody, this is Darren Van Dam and you are watching Flick Connection, the show that helps you get more out of movies, and today I want to tell you about a new release indie movie, Tejano. Now, Tejano has just released, available for rental on all major streaming services as of March 26th, and I was lucky enough to be able to get a pre-screening to this movie and really enjoyed it, so much so I wanted to go out of my way to tell you about it. Now, this is an indie movie. This is a very small movie done on a shoestring budget, but it is beautiful. I had the good fortune of being able to communicate a little bit with the director, so I've got a little bit of insight into how this movie was made. And with my knowledge of filmmaking, I'm very impressed with what they were able to pull off with the budget that they had and with the resources that they had. So what you get with this movie is a good thriller that takes place in Texas, very near the border. In fact, some of the poster art for this features a man standing in ankle-deep water looking across the river at what is, now the border fence, sort of the steel fence that you see on TV. But this movie is apolitical. This is not a political story about the wall or the state of American versus Mexico politics. It is just a good thriller that takes place in this region and feels very, very authentic. Some of the cinematography, like I said, is really incredible. The movie sort of opens up with someone trying to swim across the Rio Grande. It's dusk, it's beautiful. Then they have to sort of hide underwater and the spotlight shining through the water. It really looks high-end at times. There's some really great shots. A lot of it takes place on a wind farm in Texas, and there's these really incredible shots of these giant white windmills. Really sort of breathtaking scenery of this sort of almost desolate landscape with these incredible huge windmills. And then underneath all this sort of beautiful stuff, you get this really sort of grungy story about a guy trying to earn some money and goes about it the wrong way, gets tied up with the wrong people. I was really surprised at how far down the rabbit hole we went with this movie. I kept kind of expecting it to level off and sort of like mellow a little bit, as happens with a lot of indie movies at this level, and it doesn't. It really continues to escalate in a way that I was completely happy with. This is really my kind of movie. It's a thriller, but it's done like you can sense the filmmaker in the process of this movie, and not in a bad way, in a very good way, in the sense that I think anyone who is an aspiring filmmaker should watch this movie. This is a good example of what can be done without a huge studio, without a ton of money. And again, I don't want to undersell it. This is not a movie that was made in somebody's backyard. I mean, this is there's SAG actors in it. While I did not really recognize any of the actors, I thought everyone on screen was great. On the channel here, I talk about some of these smaller movies like this, and I'll say, the performances are great, save one or two. I thought everybody did a great job. Everybody was convincing enough, and to the point that nobody took me out of the movie. And again, it was more intense than I expected it to be. I think fans of Breaking Bad would really like this movie. No Country for Old Men, I was reminded of while watching it. We're already in March 2019. I've seen a couple of movies I really liked. This is one of them. This is maybe in my top 3 to 5 movies of the year so far. Could make it all the way to the end as being one of my favorites, and that's why I'm doing this review. I would say if you're looking for something to watch this week, you want to rent something different that you maybe know a little bit more about now, I would spend the money, watch this one. It's going to be better than most other stuff that has come out recently. The director, David Garcia, this is his first film, and based on what I've seen here, I do expect we will see more from him. He made a little bit of money look like a lot, which is very good in the film industry. That means he's going to be able to earn more money for future projects. I hope he is able to do another one fairly soon and really sort of work on his craft and hone it. I would love to even just see him stick within this genre. He knows it well, and did a great job with this. While watching it, I noticed there's a lot of elements, again, without giving anything away, I'm like, oh, that was a smart move. That was smart. That didn't go the way I thought it was going to go, which is always a smart move because a lot of times you don't want the audience to be ahead of a movie like this. You want us to be with it, but maybe one step behind so we can still be surprised. And Tejano really nailed that. And again, I was surprised how apolitical this movie was, given the fact that it takes place on the border. It involves trying to cross the border. It involves drugs. It involves crime. And I didn't feel like it was making a statement on the current political climate whatsoever, which will make this movie somewhat timeless. But if you like my recommendations, particularly smaller indie movies that you see me recommend on this channel all the time, this is one. When it makes it on the Netflix, if it ever does, I will be including it on a top 10 list. It will be near the top of a top 10 list for sure. It's brand new, just dropped today. You can check it out, and I highly recommend it. Let me know, one, if you had heard of it without me mentioning it, and two, if you do decide to watch it, come back, leave a comment, let me know what you thought of it. If you want me to continue to make reviews on smaller movies like this that you may not have heard of otherwise, let me know that as well. I am going to still be putting out my full list of things you can watch on Netflix and Amazon every week, but I'm trying to introduce more content that you want to watch. So be sure to let me know if you do want this content, and if you have ideas for content and types of videos you'd like to see, you can let me know that as well. But I will keep making reviews like this as long as you watch this one and hit the like button. But thanks for checking this one out, and you will see me on the next one.